Yo, it's your man MAS, back with more content, alright? Still talking about the Apothecary Diaries, alright? Again, you probably seen the title. Not judging is a good anime, but if I had to compare season 1 to season 2, it's kind of falling off, alright? But I'm almost done season 2. I literally only have a few more episodes left, so I really doubt the last few episodes are going to change my overall judgment. I mean, but let's just get right into the topic, right? So, Apothecary Diaries, right? Again, overall, a good anime. I'm not going to say it's like top 10 or anything like that, but a very solid, I feel like my grading when I do the final video is a solid anime across the board. Like, it doesn't try to be something that it's not. So, it's a solid anime. But if I had to compare season 1 to season 2, season 1 is significantly better than season 2. And then here's the reasoning, right? So I don't think it's anything against the show itself. I feel like a lot of anime, I don't know if it's an anime, a lot of shows suffer from this, right? In terms of the gimmick gets old, right? Like, in order to be like a show that stands out, right? In my opinion, you got to do something that constantly gauges person interest, that like pushes the envelope. The only way shows like this typically like succeed is if like it does a certain thing and you, the viewer, is addicted to that kind of thing. It's almost like, I don't know, rom-coms, right? And you're addicted to cheesy scenes. So let's say season 2 of a random show, they don't do anything different. They just keep hitting you with the cheesy scene after cheesy scene after cheesy scene. Most people get tired of that. It's like, all right, like, I know what this is. I don't feel like watching this anymore. Like you know, give me something different. Give me like a little bit more spice. But there's some people that's their shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, I love cheesy scenes. I can't get enough of it. If this show from season 1 to season 2 is still nothing but cheesy scenes, I'm gonna eat that up. Yum, yum, yum. Right? That's my metaphor. Yum, yum, yum. So I think that's what the Apothecary Diaries is. So season 1, it's a lot of new things, right? This girl that seems to be very intelligent, knows the world, for the most part, like the real world, not like the pretend world that, you know, I feel like most women have. Like, she's very knowledgeable about the nature of men, concubines, medicine, like very knowledgeable, right? And she's solving these like riddles and puzzles and crimes that like in a really curtailing fashion. And I feel like season 1 introduced so many dynamics where it's like the poison aspect, like her being a poison taster and educating people on poisons and all those things. And I feel like season 2 got away from that. Rightfully so, because she's not a poison tester anymore, as far as I can tell, right? She's moved on to other accolades in season 2. But I feel like season 2, and this is why I would recommend too, like if you're watching Apothecary Diaries, you need to watch season 1. If you just jump into season 2, it's like the way they do season 2 is almost as if they're just kind of continuing the story. So if you don't watch season 1, you're going to be a little bit lost. You're just kind of going to know like, all right, what is this girl that's pretty much like solving riddles and everybody's calling her name like, you know, give me Maomao, give me Maomao, right? Like that's what I'm called. I know people get upset because maybe that's not her actual name. Doesn't matter. It's my video, right? So Maomao, right? She looks like the shit in season 2. So you're not really gonna understand like, yo, what is so special about this girl that's solving? Just hire a detective, like. But season 1 touches so much on her upbringing, why she's so special, all those things. Like season 1, I feel like touches on a lot of cool aspects that make the show that I got addicted. Season 2, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of falling off in terms of like my interest, right? I will finish the season, but like at this point, my mouth's the shit. Like she's getting calls from the emperor and, you know, emperor's mom. Like my mouth's the shit. Like I feel like regardless, she can't really do no wrong. I mean, I granted, I know the culture, so she can get beheaded at any time, but like she is the person. She is the plug. Season 2 is basically like Jinwoo in Solo Level. Like like once you got to Solo Leveling season 2, there was no Jinwoo is the guy. Nothing can touch Jinwoo. There's nothing Jinwoo can do that's wrong. That's what it feels like with Maomao. It's not quite like that, but it feels like it's getting to the point where like everybody knows her name. Everybody kind of knows what she does. Like everybody's kind of calling her number. I feel like she can't really do any. I feel like even if she made a mistake, because of how much she's done good in the area, they probably just let it go. Cause like everybody loves Maomao at this point. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't feel like the way the season's going, I don't feel like she could do any wrong. Which there's nothing wrong with that kind of storytelling. The reason why it's getting kind of dull is because like, in my opinion, and again I could be wrong, maybe the last few episodes turns my head, like it's really nothing new. It's still the same thing of Maomao just solving riddles. The only difference between season 1 and season 2 is that she has a lot more notoriety, right? So a lot of high ranking people are kind of pulling her like, yo, who's this random girl that solves puzzles? Like, let me holla at her for me. Like that's the only real difference. But the puzzles aren't as complex. The puzzles aren't as engaging. And if it's going the direction that I know it's going, like if, I don't want to sound like a dick, but like if you use any kind of critical thinking skills, right? Like if you watch enough shows, you kind of have an idea of like the riddle that's going towards the end of the season. Like you have an idea. Like Jinshi, I'm probably pronouncing the name wrong. You have an idea. I don't think you need to be like, if you have no critical thinking skills, then yeah. By the time you finish season 2, it's probably going to be a massive surprise. But the relationship between Jinshin and Maomao and his status, which is always kind of weird, right? Like you can kind of tell the direction it's going. I'm not going to spoil that for you. My videos are very spoiler filled. So I don't know why you're watching if you don't want to get spoiled, but I won't spoil that for you because I'm not going to spoil that for myself. I haven't finished. So if it's going the direction I think it's going, I don't really think it's that much of a surprise. I'll be more surprised if it wasn't the case. If what I'm thinking isn't true, then I'll be more surprised by that. But the way they've been kind of telling the story, it seems kind of evident that Jinshin is more important than he leads on. But I feel like anybody, again, with critical thinking skills, deductive reasoning skills can kind of, yeah, I can see the direction, like, and Maomao's kind of asking questions, or she's learning more and more. Like you can kind of tell where that's going. But that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think season 2 is as engaging. It's like maybe they need to dive into that a bit more faster, because the way the season starts, it's still riddles to kind of introduce like the other characters. Like I will give it that, right? Apothecary Diaries character development, like the characters from season 1 and season 2, like they still feel just as important. Right, they're still just as significant, and their stories get expanded upon more in season 2. So that I will give her credit for. Like the characters' development does grow significantly season 2. But in terms of like interesting dynamics for season 2, like hey, like what's something interesting? Like oh wow, like I never knew this about the world. I never knew that, or what? Like that's happening. Like it's not. It's more of the same thing in season 1 of riddle solving. That's what I'm saying. It's really not bad. It's just not. The gimmick is wearing old. But again, there are people who eat that kind of stuff up. So if you love Carmen Sandiego is type stuff, like you love people who solve riddles, season 2 is just a continuation of that. So you will love it. But if you're somebody like me that needs, maybe that's the best way I can say, like you need the stakes to be higher, right? And I don't care what anybody says. Human beings love drama. We love drama. So if the stakes are always the same, right, baseline, it gets kind of mundane. It gets kind of boring. Like, you know, what do women say? Like, I need a little bit of excitement, right? So like most times with like storytelling and seasons, like the better ones in my opinion, the stakes get higher and higher and higher, right? That drama increases. It needs to increase. And it doesn't matter whether it's like a slice of life or a shonen, right? It's like the romance between the characters need to increase, or there needs to be more drama, or it's like there's a third word, there's a triangle, this person's ex is coming to the picture. The drama needs to increase. It can't stay the same. The stakes need to increase. It's the same thing with a shonen, like, oh, and Dragon Ball Z, as much as I feel about Dragon Ball Z, it went from, you know, the fate of the planet to the fate of the universe. That's a clear example of the stakes being risen. It's like, oh, we can't just keep betting Earth on the line. Like, now we gotta bet the universe. So Apothecary Diaries doesn't need to go the Dragon Ball Z route. Like, you don't have to put the stake of the universe in Maomao's hands, but the stakes need to be like a little bit higher in order to keep, I feel like, the general viewer's interest. If I have to be honest, again, my opinion, that's probably what's stopping the show from being as big as it needs to be. Like, the show is really good, but probably the reason why it's not getting the notoriety that it needs to be is because, like, the stakes don't feel as high, and it's kind of like the same stuff. And I feel like this show, it has all the tools to be, and the funny thing, it's not an action anime, and I still feel like it has all the tools to be top tier. Just like, you got to raise the stakes a little bit more. But season 1 was so refreshing because it hit you with so many elements. In season 2, it's the same stuff. But I mean, that's my 2 cents. Next video, it'll be like my final overall grade of Apothecary Diaries season 1, season 2. So I mean, be on the lookout for that. But it's your man MAS, my annoying senpai. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.